the New Balance 990 V3 versus the New Balance 990 V4. Which is the better 990 New Balance sneaker? Well, let's talk about it. I recently made a wear test video for both sneakers, with a 2-week update on the 990 V4s and a 3-week update on the 990 V3s. So if you want to go check out both of those videos, I will leave a link to both of them at the top of the description below. And without further ado, let's get into the comparison. Right, firstly, the price tag. Both have the exact same retail price of £210. Now they are both made of very high quality leather and are constructed with an ample amount of breathable mesh, alongside both including an end cap cushioning midsole. And this makes it a little bit harder when you're trying to decide between the two of which one that you want. You want to know which one is worth saving your pennies up for. It is a good sign, however, as it shows both pairs are evenly matched with what you get for the price that you're paying. So ultimately, you can't really go wrong with either one. Okay, now we're going to be talking about the comfort. To start, both are truly as comfortable as one another. They both offer a good sense of breathability, so much so that I haven't experienced my feet getting overly hot in either of them. And of course, as I've already mentioned, that is down to the ample amount of mesh that is used to construct the uppers with. Now, I do want to mention that both pairs are extremely comfortable underfoot, as they both use the same end cap cushioning midsole, as well as the endurance rubber that you see on the outsole as well, to complete the entire sole setup. But the 990 V3s include a carbon fibre midfoot shank, whereas the 990 V4s have a simple plastic insert instead. Now, I wouldn't say that I noticed too much of a difference between the stability of both shoes. Whilst it is a fancy addition to have a carbon fibre shank within the 990 V3's midfoot, I truly couldn't tell if it made a difference with the plastic insert in the 990 V4s. It's something worth mentioning, as you at home may experience that slight difference when wearing either of these pairs regarding the comfort and stability underfoot. But yes, to continue, New Balance have clearly made sure that their pairs which are made in the USA, like the 990 V3s and the 990 V4s are, will always be given those luxury level materials and a top-notch quality control as well. So I feel confident and can definitely trust New Balance when it comes to the quality of both of these shoes. Both of these have been very pleasant to walk many kilometers in and to stand around in for many hours on end. I thankfully haven't experienced any type of cramping or soreness in my foot. I haven't experienced any type of discomfort in my forefoot, midfoot or heel from either pair, which is an absolute godsend. And I am extremely grateful that neither shoe has caused myself any type of blisters. I simply have just been very lucky to have an unproblematic experience with both of them. One of my favorite coin terms, unproblematic. Truly though, I have really enjoyed wearing both the V3s and the V4s, so much so that they are both now in my everyday current rotation. But if I want to nitpick to try and find a noticeable difference between the two sneakers, whilst the 990 V3s do have that carbon fibre shank in the midfoot and the 990 V4s have that plastic insert instead, as I aforementioned, there hasn't been a noticeable difference when it comes to that. The only difference I've noticed between the two that would be worth mentioning would be that the V4s are ever so slightly more constricting on my instep. Now that's not to say the top of my foot feels like it's suffocating in these by any means, as that is far from it. Just from my own experience, the V4s do have that slightest bit more of a snug fit to them in comparison to the V3s. Now it isn't a major defining factor that makes one shoe a lot better than the other. And don't worry, it is not because of the way that I have laced them, as they are both laced the exact same way with the exact same lace holes that I've used for them. I prefer lacing my sneakers very loosely, as I like to have a bit of breathing room in there, rather than having a complete one-to-one snug fit. So I have made sure that there is no variable that I am accidentally affecting when it comes to this difference that I am feeling between the two. It is just a tiny difference that I thought was worth mentioning, just in case someone at home has experienced the same or similar. And I will be honest and say that I do go and reach for my V3s first before the V4s, and that may very well be the reason why. But I do still happily wear my V4s, so I really wouldn't put that as the reason why. As again, the slight pressure that I feel on the top of my foot when wearing the V4s is so little and insignificant, I can't see it making that much of a difference as to why I seem to be choosing the V3s first over the two, as it really isn't something that puts me off wearing these at all. As if it was cutting the circulation off to my foot entirely, then of course I wouldn't wear them, but it really isn't damaging to this sneaker in any sort of way. So truly that is just a nitpick, and I thought I would be honest about that. But again, it doesn't stop me liking the V4s any less than the V3s. Now, I do have a very wide foot, and of course, as I just talked about, a very high instep to pair alongside it. And when it comes to the width of both of these sneakers, I have found no concerning issues with either of them. I haven't felt like my toes have been completely crushed in them. I haven't felt any painful pinching or rubbing from both of these sneakers on either sides of my foot, nor has my ankle been in any type of discomfort whatsoever. Both the V3s and the V4s are a pain and blister-free zone. That is all we want in a sneaker, really. Just the shoe both looking good and feeling comfortable and causing no pain in any sort of way. Okay. Okay, see you in a bit. Alright, love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Alright, back to it. So whilst both of these are considered a standard width shoe, if you have an extremely wide foot like myself, I can guarantee you very confidently you'll be absolutely fine in both of these sneakers. Now, when it comes to the sizing of both of these, I'm happy to report that they are both true to size. I wear a UK 11 in both, and they fit just as perfect as each other. They each have a normal amount of room between your big toe and the edge of the toe box, whilst having no heel slip at all, or making you have that feeling as if your heel is trying to explode out the back of the shoe and rip the ankle collar to absolute smithereens. Both do have a decent amount of room on the insole, and that is down to how good the outsole is on both of them. They both fit incredibly nicely, and I don't really have any qualms with either of the fit of them. And I have to say that both of these are made with very high quality and premium leather materials. They both truly are plush enough to form to your foot the more you wear them over time. I would definitely class these as a luxury experience for myself, because not too often you come across a sneaker that is unproblematic when it comes to the sizing on all accords. And again, that's where I use my favorite word, unproblematic. Now we are at the end, I can now conclude my final thoughts with the following. Both the New Balance 990 V3 and the 990 V4 offer the same levels of comfort throughout the sneaker. And whilst I did find that the V4s were slightly more snug on the instep of my foot, and that the V3s had a carbon fiber midfoot shank in comparison to the plastic insert that the V4s had, the experience was pretty much similar, and I really enjoyed wearing both of them a lot. And the fact that they both have the exact same retail price of £210, whilst both offering a high quality set of materials and construction and quality control, with them looking pretty much the same at first glance, I would recommend both sneakers. I mean, really, it just comes down to a few differences of the shape and placement of some of the leather panels. So take your fancy and pick your favorite. You truly cannot go wrong with either pair.
Is that real sweat?
It's real sweat. I'm a high performance athlete. Athletes sweat. Sweat, baby. Sweat, sweat.